One of the big things I came to for hypnotherapy is recently I was going through a time of depression. Many times through the years, through the depression, I've thought of suicide because nobody understood me. I cannot move on with my life, especially I want to do greater things, bigger things. If my foundation is so messed up, I can't. There's no capacity to move on. And I was struggling to control my emotions. I was always arguing with my wife. We were fighting a lot. And like I'm right, she's right, and both of us get into big troubles because both of us have our own issues. When I used to teach my students and I got upset, I used to scold them because violence was all I knew as a child. My father was very, very violent, abusive physically, emotionally, mentally, and there was no peace at home. I had very low self-esteem. Because my foundation was so messed up, coming back to shouting, throwing tantrums, even as an adult, that's all I knew. Because my little boys, 7 and below, were so messed up. They couldn't find no place for refuge. They didn't know what to do. And me as over 40, coming to 41, all I knew was that, to shout, to scream, my point is right, you are wrong. And where's compromise? I just couldn't get it. Number one, she listens very carefully and gives me the time to speak. Number two, the whole energy that she gives us is that she's genuine. She's not about money. She's more for the person, that she wants to bring like kindness and peace to the person, that the person can move forward. And I feel that number three, through the sessions, we have exchanged a lot of information, not just about hypnotherapy, but many life books, self-help, and I think it's very interesting that Kate used to live in Singapore too, because I'm from Singapore and we had common topics to talk about that we created a bond between us. I know that I had a troubled childhood, but I couldn't reach in and release, I call it the inner demons. So going through the process, though it was short, was amazing. When Kate brought me into trance and I touched base with my 7-year-old self, it was amazing to see that he's in the darkness, under the bed, screaming and crying, just didn't want to let out. And to be able to embrace myself, that's amazing. But what shocked me the most is that I touched base with my fetus self. I didn't know that being a fetus in my mother's womb was so painful. To be able to hold myself as a baby and stop the crying, to actually turn the crying to joy, I think that was invaluable. So right now, after Kate, I've gotten a lot better. I feel that the energy is a lot brighter. I don't feel angry so often, don't shout so often, be able to control my temper a whole lot more. Even now, I barely argue with my wife, which she has noticed a lot. Because I'm able to calm myself down, I'm able to think carefully and to actually observe what's happening around me, which brings me to my students closer to me. Previously, I taught a class that I was shouting at them last year. But this time round, when I taught them, though they were misbehaving or didn't want to do whatever I told them to, I didn't shout at them. Yes, I got upset, but there was no big shouting and scolding. I realized that what's the point? And to be able to be facilitated by Kate, as she brought me through trance and saw and heal, it is priceless. Even now, I'm still in a healing process, But the fact that the ball starts rolling and that she's able to get me touch base all the way down, I feel that it's completion. It's a complete healing. I don't feel disconnected with my childhood anymore. When I look back at my childhood, it's more of, yes, these things happen and it's time to move on, rather than he did this to me, she did that to me, and I cannot move on. I would say psychology counseling is even more prevalent now. So I think that psychology, hypnotherapy, counseling, it starts from the top. It starts from the parents. Parents need to release and find professional help first, because the children will model after the parents. So what I'm saying here is mental health is vital, extremely vital.